Okay, so this morning at 3:45, I roll over, I grab my phone, smash the alarm clock. Just kidding, I don't have an alarm clock. But I look at my earnings, and this is typically what I do. I wake up around 4 o'clock most mornings, and I check my earnings. And yesterday had been a great day. I had earned $235, which after the few days prior to that were really low. And so I was just kind of curious what was going on. And so then waking up this morning, I'm like, is it gonna be high again or is it gonna go back down? And I was shocked because I had a $300 day, and that $300 day put me at $5,000 for the month. And so this is my highest month ever as an Amazon influencer. And when you factor in bringing people over from YouTube with the Amazon affiliate program and sponsored links where I'm reviewing products for companies, I'll likely end the month. We have 5 days left. I'll probably end the month with about $7,000, which is much better than my day job as a school teacher. So it was really, really exciting to wake up this morning. And so I wanted to first share that with you, but two, what you're most interested in is how did I do it? A lot of people are experiencing a lot of lows right now. But my channel has continued to improve month over month since I started 8 months ago. And so I've had pretty consistent growth, and I've been thinking a lot about that. Now, there are a few things that have contributed to the growth and the success of my channel. I would say that number one is consistency, but we're not going to talk about that today. Number two is probably streamlining my processes, and we'll talk about that a little bit today. But number three has been really important the further I've gone into this program, and that's batching. And the reason batching has been so important for me is because I'm coming up on 1,000 videos, and a lot of people burn out by this point. And certainly I've seen steady growth, but I've also increased my effort with time. So in the beginning, it was just a couple hours a week and a few $100s a month. I made $50 or 50 reviews my first few months was 50 reviews a month. Then I increased my effort, increased my time, started doing about 100 views a month, 100 reviews rather, and that worked really well. And then coming into the summer, where I knew I'd have a little bit more time because my schedule's more flexible, I ramped up to 150 reviews a month. Now, let me be clear, I am a school teacher, so my summers are flexible, but I'm teaching 7 classes this summer. I'm actually, the teaching load is bigger than it is for me during the year. And we decided at the beginning of the summer, we were gonna sacrifice a few things to say yes to extra opportunities for income growth, so that we could make a few more investments and set our family up for the future. I have 4 small children. Well, not too small. One is going into his senior year of high school, and we want to make sure that we have enough money to cover all our expenses, but also so we can do some really fun things as a family. And so far this year, we have done a lot of fun things as we've hit certain milestones. We've gone to the arcade, gone to trampoline parks, went on a helicopter ride. I'm booking a hot air balloon this week because we hit another milestone. And we've just done really fun things as a family. Well, getting back to the matter at hand, thinking about batching, the reason I had to batch is I was feeling very burnt out. I am super busy, with the kids and with my day job and then reviews. And so first I had to be willing to let go of other things. I had another side job as a web designer. I've let that go. In fact, a lot of my websites are really dying out, and that's been kind of sad to see, but I just let it go. I'm a sports writer and regularly would appear on the radio talking about college football, and I let that go. It wasn't making as much money. It wasn't as fulfilling for me. And so I might return to it at some point, but right now I've kind of given that up, and it's been hard. So I've had more focused time, and that's an important thing when it comes to batching. Now, if you're unfamiliar with batching, that simply is a term that says you do things all at the same time. So like when you create a batch of cookies, you're not just creating one cookie and putting it in the oven and then you'll put another cookie in the oven. No, you make 20 at a time because it's more efficient. It saves you time. And that's what I've started doing a lot more of this summer, because I'm an analytics geek. I spend a lot of time researching, figuring out what's most effective in creating videos, what kind of videos to create, how to edit them, how to do everything around the process. And one of the things that I discovered for me was I was wasting a lot of time, because I would do one video at a time, and I'd upload it, and I'd create the thumbnail, and I'd do the title, and then I'd move it over to YouTube. And to do a video like that would take me an hour, hour and a half, but it was more than that, because filming was at a different time, and then it wasn't as organized. So what I discovered is I could prep everything, and this is really important. I would use one of my spreadsheets to prep all the things I was going to review. So if I had a recent purchase on Amazon, or if I had walked through my house and found a bunch of things that I hadn't reviewed yet, or that needed maybe a second video because I've used it a lot longer now, or have a new angle on it. So I'd make a list of all those things. And typically I'd make a list, like I'll use this week as an example. I came up with 50 things. So 50 things, about a third of them were new things. A third of them were probably more than a third. About half of them were things that I've had a while, I just never reviewed. And then just a few of them were things that I was either doing a second video or doing a different aspect or a different part of that product. So maybe it had like a battery, and I'd reviewed the main product, but I hadn't reviewed the battery. So I made a list of those. And the first step was simply going onto Amazon, making sure that it still had an active listing. I would hyperlink the URL to the Amazon page, so I'd have all the information there. I'd enter it into a spreadsheet with how much it costs. And in the past, I would do a lot more data, like how many customer reviews does it already have? How many influencer reviews does it have? How many written reviews in the last month? So I could project out if it would be effective. I've now done this enough that I kind of know which ones are going to be home runs and which aren't. But possibly more importantly, is I still do all the videos anyways. So even if it's going to be a dud, I know out of 50 reviews, I'm probably going to have 1 or 2 home runs, 5 or 6 that make their money back and do pretty well, and then another like 30 that will make a little bit of money. They'll have some sales, and then like 10 that won't have any sales at all. I just know that that's going to happen with 50 reviews. And so when you extend that out over 1,000 reviews or 5,000 reviews, then you have a lot of home runs, you know. And so for me, it really is quantity over specificity, right? I wouldn't say quality, because I still make really, really good videos. I have sacrificed some things, and I'll talk about that in another video where I go through my whole process. But for batching, that's the first step, is I come up with that spreadsheet and I list them all. And then this might sound silly, but it works for me. I organize it by brand first and then product name, so that when I sort it on my spreadsheet, I sort it by brand first, so that it's alphabetical by brand. Then I create a separate folder for every product that I'm going to review. So I have 50 folders now, and that's the prep work I do. Then I pick a day. For me, it was a little bit last week, but then yesterday was my big day where I had a chunk of time. I had 4 hours, and I just go through my spreadsheet. I print my spreadsheet out, and then I go around the house and I review the ones that I need to by myself. If a kid wanted to be involved with it, I don't, ask my kids or force my kids to do reviews, but a couple of my children really enjoy reviews. And so I'll grab my daughter, for example. She loves doing reviews. I'll say, hey, we're gonna shoot some reviews. Do you wanna come with me around the house? And we'll shoot 4 or 5 reviews together. Maybe I'll involve another child. But then the most effective time is actually my wife, when her work day is over, will spend about an hour. And because I'm so organized and I have the things ready to go, we can knock out like 10 reviews in an hour, where I film her or she films me. We do it in one straight cut. Often in my straight shots, I will go from forward camera to back camera And so there will be breaks in between, or maybe I'll pause it and reset something up and then unpause it and do an unboxing and then pause it and do things. But the cool thing is, if I can do it in a straight shot, even if there's breaks within that shot, then in the editing process, which I'll get to in a minute, it goes a lot faster because I just have that one video file to work with. So we'll go through, and yesterday I reviewed about 35 products in that 4 hours. Now, I had reviewed a few the week before, and I actually have 5 left to review today, but that will get me to my 50. So I felt really satisfied. I went to bed last night thinking, wow, 50 in a week is amazing, especially if you can knock it out in a day or two, and then relax the rest of the week, which I don't really do. I do research the rest of the week and learn about how to do better videos. So we did all the filming yesterday. Then this morning, I checked my analytics, was really excited, entered my data into my spreadsheet that shows my results, and did some analysis, considered what was working, what wasn't, saw which products were selling and which weren't, made some notes of that. So I do that most mornings. I'll spend a half hour to an hour just in the data. But then I got into my work day probably by around 5 o'clock. And from 5 o'clock till 6 o'clock, I batched. And this was editing today. So yesterday was a shoot, today's an edit day. And I had all my video files. I actually did this last night. I moved all the video files from my phone to my computer. I put it in their designated folders, so it was prepped for this morning. So this morning I could get right to work, and I opened a single workspace. I use Premiere, and in the past I would create a separate file for each video or each product. But now with batching, if I'm doing 50, they're all in one folder for the month or for the week, and then all the products are in their separate folders there, but I'll open my workspace on a file for the big folder. So I opened that up, and I simply imported into the timeline my first product alphabetically. So I just put that in my timeline. I went through it. I had to cut off like the beginning and the end. I took a few ums off. I go through the video quickly. I have a few breaks for transitions. I eliminate a few spaces, but I can go through that whole file in just a couple minutes. Most of my videos are about 1 to 2 minutes long, and I can go through the whole thing in 2 to 3 minutes. So I go through it. Then as I've gone through it, I looked for a good shot for a screen capture for the thumbnail. In the past, again, this will be a different video, I would edit and make the thumbnails really unique. Now I just look for a really good image of the product and me using the product. So I'd do that, and I'd save the thumbnail, and in that main folder, then I'd export the video file in that same folder, and the names are all just the product name, so they stay alphabetical. So from 5 to 6 o'clock, I was able to edit 10 videos. I probably can do about 15 in an hour if I'm really disciplined with my time, but I got a little distracted. But I got 10 videos filmed. Then at 6, I came out on my run. I'll go back this morning and I'll finish the other 50. I should be able to get them all done this morning. And then the next day will be upload all the videos to Amazon and to YouTube, tag them and do all the things. So in a 3-day workflow, I can, with about 3 to 4 hours each day, and that's what I was doing with a full-time job too. So even though it's summer and it seems like I'm so lucky to have all this extra time, I was doing the same thing during the school year. In 3 to 4 hours a day, I should be able to knock out 50 videos this week. And so it's really cool because I am hitting my goals. My initial goal for this year was to make $20,000 on the Amazon Influencer Program. I've already done that. My pie in the sky goal, I'm actually on track for that. And my summer goals of getting more money each month, I've actually been able to hit those, even though I've had to pivot and do more sponsored videos because the earnings went down so much in May and June. So I've had to change things, but it's working because I've really streamlined my process so I don't waste a lot of time. I'm batching and knocking things out, so it's just a really efficient process. and it's working really, really well. This was a long video today. I apologize for taking so long. Hopefully it was helpful. If it was, would you please tell me that in the comments? And if there's something you'd like me to share, if you have any questions, drop those in the comments as well. Hopefully you're subscribed and get notifications. I love making these videos for you. As a school teacher, I just want everybody to learn as much as they can and have success. So good luck with your Amazon influencer journey, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.